ready to see your brain?
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
So excited that you're here.
Thank you for seeing me.
Too often when someone sees a psychiatrist, it's about shame. It's like, don't want anybody to know. And it's like, come on, all of us suffer.
Totally.
At some point.
Totally.
I often say normal is a setting on a dryer or a city in Illinois. That when you really get to know people at their core, almost all of us suffer, especially since the pandemic.
Right.
So tell me what you want the most help with.
I think there's an element too of my story in the last few years of really wanting to help other people as well and normalize exactly what you're talking about. And I started a clothing line in the middle of the pandemic called the Local Love Club that's all about spreading love and kindness, and just my small effort to combat the hatred and negativity and bullying that goes on, the negativity that's constantly being thrown, is I'm really curious how it's actually affecting my head.
Yeah, well, it can cause chronic stress. And stress hormones can hurt your brain. And we'll look at your brain in a bit, but you have a sensitive brain type where your emotional brain is busy.
Very.
And in the negative comments, like poke and hurt.
I keep saying I need tools. Like I need someone to tell me how to survive like this. And like I've shared in my brand and in being truly authentic in what the brand means to me, I was bullied so bad as a kid. And so this continues to happen at 34 years old. And it's just triggering that like little girl pain place. It's like the bullying, which led to drug addiction, which thankfully, God willing, 16 and a half years sober, off everything.
Amazing.
Thank you. But also curious what that drug addiction may have done to my brain or if it's healed itself yet, but.
Tell me about the bullying. What happened?
It started in the 3rd grade, and part of the recovery process, like what is my part in this? And really realizing I had none at that age. And it continued until I was a senior in high school. So I basically lived for that period of time in my life, like feeling completely unsafe.
So from like 8 to 18?
Yeah.
Give me some examples.
It got so bad, I was like eating lunch in the bathroom stall. Like I couldn't walk down the hallway while everyone else was walking down the hallway. I would try and leave class early to get to where I needed to go so I didn't have to interact. It was awful. And so I just kept saying, no, I got it. I'm fine. And I 100% was not fine. I talk a lot about this in therapy, obviously, and healing what happened to me. I hate saying it like that, like a victim, but really just the idea.
It sounds like you were.
Yeah, I was.
Right.
It's hard. And, at a certain point, like I said, probably by high school, I learned to fight back. So then you're just adding fuel to the fire. I mean, I didn't take it laying down in the end, and it became physical, and it became, no one knew what to do, I think. And so, of course, I turned to drugs and alcohol and numb the pain and just tried to survive it,
What age did that start?
I probably started smoking weed like 13, 14, and then 16 is when I found cocaine. I had friends the only friends I did have were much older than me, so they were the perfect like escape. I'd hang out with them after school, they'd pick me up, we'd get high. And then when I was 16, just daily 8 to 12 grams of cocaine a day for like a year straight.
Wow.
Yeah, year and a half. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. I was 90 pounds when I checked into treatment. I had, deviated septum, hole in my nose, near death. They had said to my parents, I'll never forget, they said to my parents, if you didn't get her here now, I don't know if she would have made it till the end of the month. It was close, and I was in treatment for 4 months, and that's another story, but.
And you went into treatment when you were 16?
17.
17.
Senior year of high school.
And when you came out, sober since?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Not a drop. Mm-hmm.
That's really amazing. And
Thank
why
you.
cocaine?
That's a great question. I don't know.
There's lots of choices.
At the time, it was the choice in front of me. I think if my friends were shooting heroin, I probably would have shot heroin, if I'm being honest. I think it was like this is what they were doing and they're my friends and this is in front of me and it's available.
Well, you know, I always think of brains and choices.
Mm-hmm.
And certain brains gravitate toward stimulants.
Sure.
And certain brains gravitate toward downers. And certain brains gravitate toward weed.
Right.
SPECT tells us three things.
Okay.
Good activity,
Mm-hmm.
too little,
Mm-hmm.
or too much.
Okay.
And then my job is to balance it. When we look at your scan, your emotional brain in the center, that's really busy. That's the sensitive, empathic part of you that can go with depression. And your cerebellum's actually really quiet. So one of the things I want to do is figure out a way to activate that. And coordination exercises can do that. I'm going to give you something called Happy Saffron.
Okay.
That has got saffron, zinc, and curcumin. It's had 24 studies showing it's as effective as antidepressant.
My
medication.
doctor loves saffron.
And antidepressants can sort of knock off your sexuality. This can enhance it.
Great.
So mood, memory, libido, I'm like, oh, I think I'll take this.
Yeah, I think I'll take it. Sounds good.
From a substance abuse standpoint, your brain, I think, is mostly healed.
Great.
So, but why I think you had a head injury, see this dent? There's only one way to get this dent at some point.
Over that car accident.
And a little bit sleepy here. So, and this is a brain that would like cocaine.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. We're not going to
go back.
do that. But if you had more ADD symptoms, that would sort of make sense. And maybe being 10 minutes late all the time is you probably don't actually start getting ready until something in your head goes, oh my God, I'm late.
Yep.
And you need that extra stimulation
Yep.
in order to get ready. Most people who are just anxious, they're 10 minutes early because they're always thinking about what's going to interfere with them.
Right.
This is one of the bad guys.
Okay.
This is your left temporal lobe.
Okay.
You don't have holes in your brain. But what the hole means is it's got low blood flow there.
Huh.
And I think when I see that, people have dark thoughts. And they can their moods are not stable. They can bounce around and they can get irritable. And you've done a good job of supervising that. But my guess is it's still there.
Oh, for sure. I just do a lot of work to combat it. But if I wasn't.
And so if I could repair it.
Yeah.
You would like me even more.
Yeah, I would.
I want you to write down for me the 10 worst thoughts you have.
Okay. I'm scared of this a little bit. 10 worst thoughts I have about myself.
Just that bother you. The drive, the anxiety or drive, the depression.
Okay. It's really dark.
I'm sorry?
It's very dark.
Oh, the darker the better. I want to teach you to not be afraid of the darkness, but how to turn the light on when it's dark.
That's teachable? Okay.
Whenever you feel sad.
Yes.
Or mad, or nervous or out of control, I want you to start writing down what you're thinking.
Okay.
Because thoughts create feelings. Feelings create behaviors, and behaviors create outcomes.
Okay.
And very few people actually get to the thoughts.
Right.
So I can medicate your feelings, and I will, but I want to correct your thoughts. And I call these ants, automatic negative thoughts. I don't have tattoos. I notice you have some.
Couple.
But I'm thinking of getting them. And
No.
my first tattoo would be these 5 questions.
Okay, great.
So if we start with the thought, I am not enough, first question is it true?
Right.
Is it?
No.
So it's not true.
Right.
So is it absolutely true? And the third one is, how do you feel when you have the thought?
Low.
This is the thought that's driving the epidemic of teenage suicide in girls.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the internet has brought us.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
This is what Instagram has brought us.
Yeah.
I love Instagram. I love talking to people from all over the world.
Same, right.
And people go, oh, but I don't have as many followers as this person. When you start comparing, you start suffering.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Always going to be somebody better,
Yep.
smarter, prettier, richer.
Always.
Always going to be somebody poor. But our brain doesn't go, oh, look at how amazing this is. We go to what I don't have. That's why I'm not sort of a big fan of the Olympics.
Right.
Because I have to be the best. Having to be the best is a prescription for disaster.
Uh-huh.
Rather than, I have to be my best.
Right.
Because if I have to be my best, then I can help other people be their best.
Right.
And as a stylist, that's your job.
Yeah.
Right? You help them be their best. But if you're trying to help them be the best, it's only sadness
Right.
and disappointment and frustration. So 4 is, how would you feel without the thought?
Free.
Katie calls it the work, because like you are so disciplined at the gym,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be disciplined with this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you want. So 5 is my favorite question. That you take the original thought and you turn it to the opposite. What's the opposite of I am not enough?
I am enough.
I am enough.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one example.
I mean, look at what I've done. It's crazy.
Would your 17-year-old self in rehab
No,
have
never.
imagined what you would have done?
Never. Beyond my wildest dreams.
I'd love that. Because this is what you should put on your mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Love it.
Questions?
No, I don't think so.
What a joy to meet you.
Thank you.
It's been so much fun.
Same.